Communities in the South are still picking up the pieces from Helene, and a lot of people might find their insurance won't be much help. This video is from Asheville, North Carolina, just one of many communities dealing with major flooding and heavy damage from the storm. And here's a staggering statistic. FEMA says 99% of counties in the United States have experienced flooding since 1996, but only 4% of people have flood insurance. Let's bring in USA Today Money reporter Bailey Schulz. She's been covering this issue in a piece about how many people don't have flood insurance and the headaches Helene is causing for them. So thank you so much for being here. I mean, this is very naive of me. You know, if I have homeowners insurance, is flooding just not included?
I don't think you're alone. Where I spoke to someone for the story who used to work in insurance and was hit hard by Helene. And for her, it was a surprise when she found out she would not be covered because she doesn't have flood insurance. And so I think this is something that a lot of Americans just aren't aware of.
So what is happening right now to people in Helene, especially areas that probably don't think they need flood insurance?
Yeah, so what we're seeing with Helene specifically is a lot of this damage is really due to that storm surge, that flooding. And so with other disasters, I think these homeowners were able to claim things like wind damage. And so that kind of fell under their home insurance policy, and they were able to have their claims worked out. This time, a lot of that flooding, like I said, is really due to specifically flooding. And so for those homeowners who are submitting claims, they're finding out, okay, if they don't have that flood insurance specifically, their claims are not covered.
What an absolute nightmare. What are those people going to do?
Yeah, so it's tough. There are a few tips that experts gave me where, they can really dive in and see if there are any avenue with their policy to see if they have any coverage. But other than that, it's kind of working on getting your home dried quickly, making sure you're not falling for scammers who are kind of preying upon these people hit by this disaster. Take lots of photos and videos of the damage. And then, other than that, it's checking around, seeing if there's any sort of FEMA assistance or maybe some state or local money available.
What can you tell us about flood insurance? I mean, from your reporting, how much on average is it a year? I mean, maybe people are just thinking, look, it's way too expensive. I can't even get by. I'm just trying to get groceries. What did you find?
Yeah, so what experts told me is there are really two reasons that we don't see a lot of flood insurance. One is just people aren't really aware it's something they need. They think if I'm not in a FEMA designated flood zone, I don't have to worry about it. And then the other is just that cost, where home insurance prices are just going up already. And so adding on flood insurance on top of that, which on average can cost nearly $1,000 a year, that's just out of the question for a lot of families.
How could someone find out if they are underinsured? What should people do to make sure they don't run into the issues of the people who you interviewed?
Yeah, I think a lot of what the experts were telling me is just look at your policy, see if you have that flood insurance where, flooding is really considered one of the most costly, one of the most common ways that your home can really get affected by disaster. And so I think there's just a problem of a lack of flood insurance with a lot of homeowners in this country. And so with about, what was it, FEMA says about 99% of counties in the country are affected by flooding since 1996. And so this is something that is a risk for a lot of homeowners out there. So it might be worth considering adding that policy on.
One more quick question for you. With the experts that you interviewed, given, for example, Asheville, not an area that would be affected by hurricanes or tropical storms, did the experts tell you that essentially the climate that we're in makes everybody vulnerable?
That's what we've been hearing, where with these FEMA flood maps, a lot of them are just outdated. And part of that is because we're just seeing things shifting with the climates. And so this is just something where we're seeing disasters just hitting hard, becoming more prevalent. And so that's something that homeowners need to keep in mind when they're insuring their homes.
Bailey Schulz, important reporting. Thank you.